and just get it done.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Darren.
I'm Graham.
And I've seen the film The Lone Ranger.
I haven't.
Why not?
Just doesn't look appealing.
Why not?
Because it's Johnny Depp and Armie Hammond.
Who's Johnny Depp and Armie Hammond?
The made-up friends that I have made up.
Graham's said that on purpose then because he said it by mistake before, and now he's going to try and pretend like that was on purpose.
It was all
along.
on purpose. I said Armie Hammond on purpose because I was thinking of Jurassic Park.
Well, who the hell is Armie Hammond in Jurassic Park?
It's the Hammond family that I'm interested in.
Right, and creating characters for them. Why have you not seen this film?
The situation just hasn't come up. I'm not overly interested in it, to be honest. It's got a load of...
Did you like Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's got... Look, let me finish. It's got a load of dud reviews.
Yeah, that's true. That's not false. Got 4 stars in Empire magazine.
It got slated a little odd during filming because of all the racism.
What racism?
Oh, you remember the racism.
Was it when they... No, I won't say a joke. Go on, what racism?
It was about like Native Americans and stuff like that, wasn't it?
That is correct. Johnny Depp, who is not a Native American but claims to have Native American blood. I mean, if you're going to use that excuse, we could all play anyone. If we go far, I can play a black person because if I go far back enough in my ancestry, we all came from Africa.
We did.
So that's fine. That's not an excuse, Johnny Depp.
No.
Johnny Depp.
It's like that other woman who... She was
the woman that turned... No, the woman that pretended to be...
She identified as African American, and...
I wonder if that's a... I came up with a joke about that once. Oh, it doesn't matter. I did though. I thought it was a jokey situation where people just... It was basically... It was going to be... No,
it was a very, very sensitive and
oh, come on.
upsetting situation.
Yeah, upsetting because she's been found out.
It's called cultural appropriation.
It's called lying for votes.
Well, sort of.
Yeah. So, Lone Ranger is rubbish. I saw that film. It's really long.
It's really long.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours. You could watch Once Upon a Time in the West in that time, pretty much. Which is obviously...
Is it better?
What, Once Upon a Time in the West?
Yes.
I think
is
it might
better
be.
Than the Lone Ranger?
I think it might be. Let me check my brain. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in the West is better than Lone Ranger.
Yeah, okay.
It's really long. It's really convoluted, the story. Everyone's got some stupid motive, and there's like 15 characters.
That sounds good, like a
That
flash.
sounds good. It's not.
I actually have a baseball bat in my hand. Why
Yes.
would you test me?
Because I just shut up.
Do you want to be the Judy to
Shut
my punch?
up. The Judy to your Richard.
I wish. Richard Hammond.
Yes, I think that it's inspired by... I don't know what you said. I don't care. It's inspired by Once Upon a Time in the West and The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, like every one of Derek Gorbinski's films are.
And what parts are... No, I don't remember this.
What is your question?
What parts are inspired by Dawn of the... What did you say?
Gore
Verbinski's...
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen and Once Upon a Time in the West.
What's been taken from that to put into this?
Well, you say you don't remember. It's because you've seen neither film. So that might be why you don't remember.
There is a gap in my memory.
I thought you were going to say head, and I was going to agree.
I can see you.
I
hate you.
I know. Firstly,
Go on, we're talking about
there's a weird thing.
Film.
Shut up.
Everybody's listening to both things, so just go on and I'll carry on too.
So, the film The Lone Ranger is bookended by an old Tonto telling the story of the Lone Ranger.
That's some derogatory term, was it? Some old Tonto.
Some old Tonto. Yeah.
Why not?
The film is set after the events of the film, and old Tonto is reciting what happened.
The start of the film is before the start of the film. No. The start of the film is after the beginning of the
film.
The
Lone Ranger is being told by Tonto.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah? So Tonto is old. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yes.
Yes, we get it, go on.
And his memory seems to be sort of dubious and long-winded.
The elderly aren't particularly reliable for memories anyway, are they really?
Well, you're asking me why this is relevant to Baron Munchausen, not just
I'm not
let's name
saying
traits
that.
of old people.
Oh, I see. Does it come up?
Yes, that's what Baron Munchausen is.
Get to the point then.
You were interrupting me.
You were
Baron
still
Munchausen
not getting to the point.
is the same thing. It's an old guy telling the story of what happened, and it may or may not be true, and he takes little tangents and stuff like that. So there's that.
Who's listening?
To what?
Who's he
Which
telling?
one? Munchausen or Lone Ranger?
Old Tonto?
He's telling a kid who I don't know why. I don't know where the kid's parents
It's
are.
just like Edward Scissorhands and Peter Pan and all that.
What film have you seen with Edward Scissorhands and Peter Pan? Where Edward Scissorhands is told
Not
Peter
in
Pan
the
a
same
story.
film. Oh my god. Hook becomes fingers.
Hook becomes fingers. I guess he probably would have started off as fingers if you thought about it logically. Yeah, so there's that. And also, if you look at things like Pirates of the Caribbean 3, which just, like, literally just takes scenes from Munchausen.
Same director.
Gilliam did Munchausen, Verbinski did the Pirates movies and
No.
the Lone Ranger.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is yes then. Well, I was clarifying, because sometimes you're stupid. And the Once Upon a Time in the West stuff is a Western focused around a railroad. I mean, that's not entirely specific to Once Upon a Time in the West. But when you throw in the
Nobody
fact
has
that,
a
God.
monopoly on that idea.
They don't, but when said director has riffed off the Once Upon a Time in the West film so many times, you kind of start to think that's probably where he's getting this part from as well too. The themes, as in like sound-wise, music, I don't mean conceptually, from the Lone Ranger, are almost identical in some cases. They use riffs from the Once Upon a Time in the West themes.
When you say rift, all I can think
Riffs.
of
There's no T
is
in it.
specific rift. Rim.
Well,
Specific rift.
I can't cope
What's
with
the
you
specific
anymore.
rift? Carry on with your story.
So, what was I was just saying
talking about?
that clearly this film was inspired by those two films. That's my point.
Any other films it was inspired
Well,
by?
maybe, but specifically those two, I think.
That you can identify.
Off the top of my head, it's turning to mush now because I've had to talk to you for 5 minutes. So,
Nobody. You don't have to.
well,
You're not even talking to me. You're talking to
let's
the
talk
camera.
About, oh, for Christ's sake!
Oh, talk about the film then. If
right.
you
Okay.
want
So I
to.
think it's a
God.
problem that Johnny Depp is not the sort of.
He's kind of old now, isn't he? Does that help? Or
Well, yeah, but he's kind of got one of those pictures of Dorian Gray, hasn't he? So he doesn't look old.
Yeah, well,
Keanu Reeves.
This is the problem though. He's like almost 70 or whatever.
Johnny Depp's not almost
Oh,
70.
you kidding me?
Johnny Depp's about your age. He's like 50.
Have we both look good for our age then?
He does.
But how old is Tonto
In the film,
afterwards? And how old's Johnny Depp?
are you asking me how old Tonto is, or how old Tonto is in the flashbacks? Which
Just
is
answer all of those things, and I'll work
about
out
Johnny Depp's age, and probably about 70. I don't know.
Well, because it was only probably about 10 years after the film
No.
that he was old. So
No.
did he look correctly
Yes, he was
old?
noticeably older.
10 years worth of old.
A lot more than 10 years. Why
Like,
is this
did
a
he
bit
age
to
in
hang
dog
up
year?
on?
Well, I'm just trying to get all the facts.
Right, well, there won't be many from this film.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
the problem with it is, beyond the fact it's too long, and I'm not quite sure why it's got that sort of Tonto bookend thing going through it, is
For
that
kids, isn't it? For kids.
how would kids... what kid can sit for 2.5 hours and watch a film? And second...
You.
Yes, but I am also 26. So I have the
Carry on.
patience. The problem is it's too long, and it's like the origin story of everything. Firstly, you don't even need the origin story for the Lone Ranger. You could just have him as the Lone Ranger.
I didn't even realize he had like an origin story. Like,
Well, I mean, obviously, whether you know it or not, somebody he didn't come out of the womb wearing a mask. The character,
a placenta mask, maybe.
yes, but it wasn't. And like for example, I think a good film is Sherlock Holmes with Downey Jr. and Jude Law.
Danny Jr.
Danny Jr., that's definitely what- So
You definitely said we can rewind this.
yes,
Carry
fine. They don't have an origin story. That just throws you right into the film. And they could have done that. And also the banter between
The
Jude
whole-
Law and Robert Downey Jr. is better than in this film. It's just not as good. Go on, what you
Robert
saying?
Downey Jr. is not in Lone Ranger.
No, I'm talking about Sherlock Holmes, obviously.
No, I know, but you were saying
I was saying that the
comparatively,
relationship
but-
between Holmes and Watson in that film is of the same kind that is of Tonto and Lone Ranger,
Hang
but
on,
they do it better.
Your argument is fundamentally flawed.
Go
I'm
on.
afraid,
Why
because
is it?
We'll see.
I mean, I know that
you
Sherlock
raise-
Holmes is borrowing from Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid.
That's not what I was going to say. You're just trying to prove a point or something. The fact that you know that you're
Yes,
trying to prove.
yes.
Well, that's irrelevant too.
So what's your point?
If I have to put you down and shoot you down
Try.
and take you down like this.
Just do it, Christ
the point
almighty.
is, what you were saying is completely unrelated.
Why?
You don't have to bring up their relationship.
I do when the film is basically a buddy movie.
But that's different because everybody's movie's different.
Everybody movie's different. Yes, that's fine. But I'm giving you an example of how this thing can be done well.
Yes, but you started off talking about origin stories and how a Sherlock didn't
Yes,
need one. However,
because the origin story of the Lone Ranger is how those two got together. And I'm saying you don't need the origin story because that film is a good example of just
and that's
throwing
a
you into it.
standalone point.
No, it's not, because my point with the Lone Ranger movie is that it's too long because all it does is try and tell you origin stories.
Yes, so you're saying that the exposition should be in their relationship rather than...
I'm saying you don't even need the exposition. I don't care how Tonto and the Lone Ranger became whatever they are, associates. You could just get into the adventure. That's all I'm saying. And I certainly don't need to know the story of his mask and how he got that, and the story of the hat and
You
how he
learn
got
about
that.
how he got his mask and
Yes,
how he
you
got
learn.
his hat.
Yes, you do. It's a big point.
And his whip. And his...
No, who's got the whip?
I haven't seen it.
No, I know. I'm gathering that. Oh, I will say, though...
Does he have special shoes?
Yes.
Does
He
he?
clicks them together, and... No, I'm thinking of a different film. The end of this film is
So
really good. I really like the end.
Why was the end so good?
Because the music was really good, and the action worked really well. It was quite well choreographed between the two, and it was quite exciting.
Reading your notes.
I'm not reading notes. I'm thinking and trying to concentrate and not killing you.
I have
Although
the
what I
baseball
will
bat.
say
just in case.
is that the stunts and stuff all the way through, and they're all kind of Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, like people getting yanked around like Looney Tunes cartoons. I didn't like it. I don't find it because it's all so
takes
fake
you out
and
of the
CG. No, I don't mind the reality of that movie. It doesn't have to be the reality of my world.
Yeah.
But when it's all fake, you just, you know, like with Mad Max, the Fury Road one, it's all real, so it's kind of cool. With this, instead of giving me some really
stuff,
no,
you were
I
on
know.
bloody pole vaults and stuff, going at high speed
Yes,
down a sand bloody dune.
I'm aware.
They're going to be rigged up to
Yeah,
be
that's
safe.
fine. But at least it was real. Whereas with this, you can make it as visually interesting as you like, but when you know that it's all done on a computer and green screen with stunts and having stuntmen having, you know, CG face clothing and stuff, it's just not as interesting.
I saw a special thing on telly on like GMTV or something like that, you know, with
GMTV, it's
Lorraine
been off
Kelly.
airs for about
Who
20
cares?
years.
That's not the point.
Get on with it.
The point is, I saw a clip and it had Armand Hammond, and he was on top of like
Hammond.
this tall like wooden structure.
Right.
And the camera, like, he's like unconscious for a second. He
yeah.
comes to, and he's standing upright for some reason already. And the camera like swoops around. That was all real. He like he
that's
was
fair enough.
pinned to the.
There was some good use of the landscape, you know, with the sort of canyons and stuff. But find me, you know, any western from the last 30 or 80 years that hasn't done that. So just using the landscape isn't really you know, relevant. Or isn't a pro point because it's nothing new. Which is
there are more impressive films.
So
Max, in fact.
if you've seen Munchausen, if you've seen Once Upon a Time in the West, and if you've seen the good Pirates of the Caribbean one, the first one, then you've basically seen this film.
Yes, and if you want to watch a buddy film, avoid this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty to choose from, mostly written by Shane Black, but go on. So that's all I've got to say. But the end is really good, and it's worth it. It's worth sitting through to get to the end.
Really?
Yeah.
That good?
Yeah, it's just good fun.
With old Tonto?
No, the
sequence.
you know, the climax of the film, the finals, the finale, and what was I going to say? I was going to say something else.
I was asking if it
was
good.
I don't deserve it. I don't think it deserved the scathing reviews that it got. It wasn't as bad as that. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst film ever.
It was particularly trampled on, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you know, I just think because it wasn't good, and I lost the will. Lost the will.
All right.
Yeah, that'll do. It's 12 minutes, 13 minutes
of
shite. Bye, everyone.